pipes. What's poppin', y'all? San Miguel TV live in full effect. I'm gonna give it a little minute for people to come through. It's a nice, cool 40-something degrees out here in Central Florida. 40-something. I know New York City, y'all feeling it. My people's out there in New York City. I'm gonna just give it some time. Let people come in as we get ready. You know, for this live. I'm gonna be talking about GMS. Make sure y'all like the video and all of that. Share this joint to people that you think might be interested. You know, Tahar is gonna respond to this because Tahar's already responded to a video that I did a few days ago on about the ICGJC. That cat be on my coattail and shit. So I know he's gonna do another response because he must feel defeated in some way. Tahar, you feel defeated from some of these past videos I've done about you. Y'all were the first ones to ever do a video about me when I was on Vocab Malone's channel. I was never even talking about y'all or nothing like that until y'all started doing videos about me. Then I started doing videos about y'all. And I have already exposed a lot of things about GMS. I'm trying to think what was the one thing. Oh yeah, it was with what's his name? Rap the News. Remember? I don't know if y'all remember Rap the News. A lot of people don't know who he was. Like, people in the One West community, the Hebrew Israelite community of One West, they don't even really know who Rap the News was. He's a dude that was a false prophet, just like Tahar is, and all these other cats, Arya and Tazadakia, Tazaria, Yahana. Yeah, they're all in the same boat. I know, Tahar, you like to separate yourself from all these cats, but you're really no different. GMS is the group that Tahar started. It is a doomsday cult. It's an identity cult because they focus so much on your identity as an Israelite. You know, that's like the main thing. They love all that talking about black this and black that. They talk about scriptures that have nothing to do with skin color, and they turn it into skin color, like Jeremiah 12:9. You know, all types of scriptures, man. Yo, GMS, exactly. Rap the News, he passed away. Yeah, all right. So what's crazy about the whole Rap the News thing is that when I started talking about him, that dude passed away like a week later. Not even a week later. It was crazy. So I was like, yo, this is crazy because I was following the story about the two young teenage sisters that passed away from starvation, from a Hebrew Israelite father that pretty much had him thinking that they had to do all this crazy fasting because Jesus Christ is coming soon, which is another doomsday thing. This cat, Rap the News, was another doomsday cult leader, just like Tahar. Now, they didn't get along with each other because GMS, they don't get along with nobody. They're ready to fight Hebrew Israelites left and right. You can watch videos of them on 34th Street, pretty much almost getting into a fight with cats from ISUPK, I think it was. I don't even know what group they was. I think they are part of the ISUPK. And they over there bumping bellies and stuff. Two fat, big bloated belly fucking Israelites with crazy ass armbands and crazy ass dudes, man. Listen, Tahar, he's done he took part of a video I did when I was talking about the ICGJC. You know, I tend to speak about the entire Hebrew Israelite community of One West mainly. And I mentioned Tahar, you know, in passing. I mentioned him literally, it wasn't even for that long. And he goes and does a whole hour video on, you know, the fact that I mentioned him. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched enough to know what he's talking about. I'm going to go back and watch the whole thing because I'm going to actually do a video, an edited video to respond to all of this. All right, let me take this hat off because it's just for looks right now. It's really not that cold. But yeah, it was good. A Sharp was good. Mega. You know, I was gonna go live and talk about the Israel Hill thing, I'm gonna do that another time. I've spoken about that here and there. I don't know if I should do an edited video. I can do a short on it. It doesn't even take that long. It's very simple. The word Israelites in that Israel Hill marker is in quotation marks. It's not literally talking about black people in America are Israelites. Black people in Israel Hill in Virginia were Israelites. They never admitted that. That's all the quotation marks, which means, you know, like how these Hebrew Israelites like to say so-called. That's what that means. So-called. You know, so yeah, I mean, whatever, we could do that another time. I don't know. I just wanted to talk about that Israel Hill thing because there's a lot of Hebrew Israelites that are still using that as some type of proof that the black man in America is Israelite, is the Israelite man, is a Judite, and it's not nothing close to what it's saying on that marker in Virginia. You know, excuse me, I don't know how late I'm gonna go. I'm a little tired. I've been working like 14 days straight or longer. I got no days off this month, but and then I started late. It's 10 o'clock, so I might go up until 11:30, the latest. I don't know. It might not even go that long, but in part of the video that Tahar focuses on, where I'm talking about him on my last live, I mentioned the fact that Tahar is talking about the RFID chip, and he's been talking about it for years. Tahar was in the ISUPK following Ariyah and Masha and all them cats, and then when they split and the House of David was formed under Masha, under the auspice of him being King David, the reincarnation of King David. Yeah, Arya put that out there and then went back on that. And I think Masha ends up dying like a year later after that House of David was even started, like maybe a year, not too long after. The split, I believe, was 94. Masha died like in 95. You know, my timeline might be off. Tahar, you can, you know, give more accurate timeline since you were there. Tahar doesn't like to talk about a lot of this stuff in detail. You know, like how the hell he reconciles his false year 2000 prophecy when there's videos of him saying America has less than 282 days or whatever. There's a video of him saying that. You know, this was in 1999 in New York City. You know, so-called prophesying. You know, and that obviously didn't come to pass. And he has his own way of, oh yeah, already. He doesn't even address that when I speak about that in the video that he's pretty much talking about. You know, he's narrating and whatever, doing his little video on my video and what I said about him, and he doesn't even touch on what the hell he ever, you know, said about the false year 2000 prophecy. But okay, his member knows, but you know, we can't know or whatever. You know, because it's bullshit. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to speak about that. Yashar, Tahar, you spoke about Jesus Christ coming back in the year 2000, and we all know he didn't. Y'all was still carrying that from the ISUPK, even though you left the ISUPK and split, and further split the Israelites, which are all into a bunch of different groups now. Like, how are you? You know, you talking about stumbling blocks. You are the stumbling block. Masha's a stumbling block. Ariya's a stumbling block. You are the stumbling blocks that are out here, pretty much, yeah, just scattering the nation, your so-called nation of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which is another thing I'm going to touch on. How the hell are you teaching that Mexicans and Haitians are the same people, man? Because of the scriptures and the prophecies and the history. That's what they're going to say. No, it's not. It's your interpretation of scriptures leads you to believe something about genetics, man. Something about somebody's ancestry. Your interpretation of a scripture is how you get into somebody's ancestry, Tahar. You're gonna have your hands full dealing with everything I'm gonna talk about in this live, and then the video I'm gonna do about the RFID chip and the Obamacare thing. How that was never even passed. That thing wasn't passed in 2009. That part of the Obamacare bill where it talks about the RFID chip and it never spoke about it being mandatory. You guys are saying that it was going to be mandatory. It never said that. That thing didn't even get put in the Obamacare actual plan that is still going on till this day. They never repealed Obamacare, but that was never included. You can look that up. You guys are conspiracy theorists. You guys follow anything that confirms what you already believe. You have a confirmation bias. You don't care that that shit wasn't even passed. That's not part of Obamacare. They're not gonna force anybody to get an RFID chip. What world are you living in, bro? They like to call everybody a bug out. They say, yo, San Miguel's a bug out. You know, anybody that doesn't believe in what they believe, they're a bug out. Bro, your members are, I can name a bunch of members that were part of your crew. Some of them might still be, that are bugged the hell out, including yourself and Gabar and all these cats. Yo, I've done videos on these cats. I know Elder Gabar, so-called Elder Gabar, has done a video on me before. I never even cared to address him. I don't, whatever. He didn't even put any scriptures in that video. He didn't really go into anything I mentioned. All he was saying that, oh, I gotta, you know, I'm disrespecting an elder because he's dick riding Tahar. That's what y'all do. All he ever wants to say is that I'm mad, I'm butthurt about Tazadakia. Yo, what does GMS have to do with any of that? Why would, like, oh, and then I just take my anger out on everybody. So yeah, man, this video is to GMS and Tahar and everybody that follows Tahar and that's been following him. You guys are in an identity cult, but more importantly, you guys are in a doomsday cult. There's been many videos I've seen of Tahar preaching with a damn banner behind him that says the end of the world, very large at the top, and then it says the end of the world like 100 times after that in smaller letters. The end of the world, the end of the world, the end of the world. Yo, you guys are bugged the fuck out. You think the world is going to come to an end, and you've been thinking that since before the year 2000. You've been preaching that. For however long you've been in this thing, you've probably been preaching that the end of the world is coming. You guys are fucking Chicken Little saying the sky is falling. So, a doomsday cult is a religious group. It doesn't even have to be religious. It could be, you know, it doesn't have to deal with religion. But usually it's a religion that talks about the apocalypse and the coming of Jesus Christ, how that's going to bring in this great destruction, and somehow you're going to be saved, but everybody else is going to be destroyed. And that whole RFID chip that they were talking about in Obamacare was not talking about putting the chip in your head, because the scripture talks about their forehead, about the mark of the beast being in their forehead. They say the RFID chip is the mark of the beast in Revelation chapter 7, I believe. I forget what chapter it's in. But it's talking about buying and selling, and they're somehow talking about the RFID chip being something dealing with healthcare, which is a public healthcare that has nothing to do with buying. And then it says the rich and the poor shall receive the mark. And at the same time, Gabar and this cat are talking about Obamacare as a public healthcare service that the rich aren't even going to partake in. That's what Gabar said. The rich are not even going to, they were trying to scare blacks and Hispanics and poor people and the oppressed and all of that. Putting fear mongering, that they're going to force the RFID chip through Obamacare. That's what they were saying. I couldn't find the video because Tahar challenged me to find the video where he's talking about Obama being, you know, somebody that they want to use so they can kind of sway blacks, you know, and minorities to go along with this because Obama's black. He said that somewhere in the street. I remember a video of him saying that. I might be able to still find it. I did a little bit of research, and it took like 2 hours for me to find a whole bunch of footage and content that I'm going to do an actual edited video on to show you that the RFID chip that was supposed to be part of Obamacare didn't pass way back in 2009. These cats are still talking about that shit as if that's going to be part of Obamacare. Like, what are you talking about? Now they need to change it and talk about Elon Musk and his, you know, chip about on the head. when they were talking about Obamacare back then, they always have to change it according to their failed prophecies. That didn't happen, and it's not going to happen. You guys are gonna die in this country waiting for damn Jesus Christ. You've been waiting for Jesus Christ. He never came back in the year 2000 when you thought he was, man. So you, that's called a disconfirmed expectancy. You expected something to happen for years. You were hoping, and then your hopes were crushed because it didn't happen in the year 2000, Tahar. But you needed to somehow keep this thing going. Instead of accepting reality, you're not accepting reality. So you might not feel like your hope was destroyed. You kind of changed it and kept it rolling, and continued into this new doomsday prophecy, which is RFID chip now. Trying to scare people. Join us, because if you don't, you're gonna get got. Like, that doesn't even make sense. How the hell does joining GMS prevent you from being destroyed or not receiving the RFID chip if it's gonna be mandated? Like, yo, these guys are nuts, man. Yeah, they're waiting on Yahweh Shai. That whole Yahweh Shai shit. These cats are still calling Jesus Christ Yahweh Shai, when the scriptures tell you that Jesus Christ was the one that created everything. Through Jesus Christ, the world was created, it tells you. I believe it's Colossians 2:9 or 3:9. And then it tells you that the only begotten, the only creation of the Father is Jesus Christ. He's the only creation of the Father. So then who was Exodus 4:22 talking about when it says, Israel's my son. Israel is God's son. So how can Jesus Christ be the only begotten of God if you think God is Yahweh, the Father is Yahweh? I mean, IUIC even knows better. They're changing it up and saying that no, Jesus Christ is Yahweh. They're actually following what Tazadaki has been changed, because according to scriptures, you guys had it wrong. You guys had it wrong, just like you have a lot of things wrong. Tahar, you teach that the 10 tribes, I mean, I want you to deal with all this shit. I don't want you to skip over some of this stuff. You actually play this whole video and talk about it. In 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 40 through 46, it says, through that country, it took 1.5 years for the 10 tribes to get to Arsareth. You say Arsareth is America based on the Jewish Encyclopedia, which uses, what's his name's book about the antiquities, not the antiquities, but the Jewish ancestry. Some book about his name is Meyer Kaserling. Meyer Kaserling was the one that wrote this book about Christopher Columbus. Now, this is not an eyewitness account. This guy is talking about, he gathered some information about Christopher Columbus, and he even admitted that Christopher Columbus was trying to go to Asia, which is Cathay and Cipango. It says it in that same book that you guys use as some type of reference, because that's what the Jewish Encyclopedia uses, and they're wrong. They lied to you, and you're following the Jewish Encyclopedia, which says Arsareth is America, and that Columbus identified. Columbus never said Arsareth is America or that America is Arsareth, and he was actually trying to go to Asia, according to that same book that y'all use to say that this is a reference to show you that Columbus knew that America was Arsareth. So that's bullshit. Then when you go to the actual scriptures, it says through that country, it took 1.5 years. So Tahar, tell me, which country did the 10 tribes go through for 1.5 years on ships in order to get to America? That's what you're saying when you read the scriptures and you listen to their breakdown of the 10 tribes. They're saying that the 10 tribes went through a country. How can you go through a country on ships for 1.5 years and then get to America? You can get through a country on a river on ships, but then once you hit the open waters, once you hit the open seas, the Atlantic or the Pacific Ocean, however the hell, whichever direction y'all believe the 10 tribes traveled, because they'll never tell you which direction they traveled anyways. They'll make it seem like they traveled in all directions. You know, because they never want to be pinned down, because where are those ships? What coast did they land on? And where are the remnants of these ships that they should be able to trace that this wood came from the Middle East, and they can find it in the Americas, which is they don't have the same type of plants or animal life or none of that. You can actually distinguish that. You should be able to find that. None of that has ever been found. The Las Lunas Decalogue stone is not even dated to when the before the Europeans even got to America. It's actually dated to during the time when there were already Jewish crypto Jews were already in that part of America, in New Mexico, where the Las Luna Decalogue stone is at. Then there's actually encryptions and little details in the so-called Hebrew, which it does look like Hebrew, but the encryption or the what they call annotations, the different things that are added, and the verbiage of the Jewish of the what do you call it? The Hebrew characters, the way that it's formed, it's actually a new thing that started with the Spanish Jews. So how could the 10 tribes have any relation to Spain when they made it over here supposedly in 720 BC? So the Lost Lunas Decalogue stone, y'all can't use that. And even if you try to use that to say, no, this is actual ancient Hebrew, you don't know who wrote it. And how do you use that to say that everybody that was in the Americas are the lost tribes of Israel, the 10 tribes? You can't use that. The Father Nazario stone, it's not Hebrew, and it's been come out since 2019. It came out. The Miami Herald did an article on it, and then not too long ago, what's his name, Dr. Reniel Rodriguez Ramos, who I did an interview with, and said that it's not Hebrew. They actually got an epigrapher by the name of Chris Ralston, who said that it's not Hebrew. He studied it. Who was the one that said it was actual Hebrew? Like, y'all can't even get an actual epigrapher or anybody, a real reference of a person that actually said it's Hebrew. Father Nazario was the one that was claiming it was Hebrew. He's not an expert in Hebrew. Never was. He was actually a Catholic priest, man. And that's who you're following, a Catholic priest? Y'all going to take his word. Y'all never even looked at these stones. The man who has the stones, I spoke to him for like a good 30 minutes. And he said, this is not Hebrew. It's not Hebrew, man. The language, the alphabet that the Mayans had doesn't even resemble anything close to Hebrew. They never even had a written alphabet, a written language in the Caribbean. Like that, not that they discovered. The only thing that they did discover was these stones. And even then, they don't even think that that's a real like coded like language. That they formed that through something else that they copied. And remember, there were other natives that could have made it to the Caribbean. If you ever hear of the what do they call it? The trans or the cross Gulf travel theory. The cross Gulf travel theory is talking about the Gulf of Mexico, how they believe that some of the people in Central America made their way across the Gulf of Mexico into Florida, and they could have made it to the Caribbean too. And those people had a written language. The Mayans had a written language. The Mayans had nothing close to Hebrew at all. There was no Hebrew. So y'all cats are completely confused. Make sure whoever's on right now, thank y'all for coming through. Give this video a thumbs up, give it a like, and share it to somebody that you think might be interested in this. Anybody that, if you know anybody from GMS. I was actually talking to this guy named the End Times Teacher, ETT. End Times Teacher is a cat that I believe was affiliated with GMS. I don't think he's down with them. And I was going to get him on my channel. Brother, if you want, you can still come on my channel. I don't know if you're going to hear this. But we were emailing for a while, and I couldn't get you on my channel. I wanted to talk about the 10 tribes. And, that's one of the main things I want Tahar to address, the 10 tribe stuff. You're talking about Native Americans that are connected, actually, to Siberians. And you can go look that up. Since you like to research, You know, like I did a video on GMS where I took a bunch of content and clips from different videos. Tahar, there's one particular clip that I that Tahar is like, you got to learn how to research. Tahar, your research skills are horrible, man. The things that you believe in, it's because it's based on what you already believe. You have a tunnel vision. You close out anything that disconfirms what you believe. You just rule it out. It doesn't even matter why you don't accept it. You can create any excuse just because it doesn't go with what you already believe. You've been in this shit for so long and you haven't changed at all. You haven't like increased and now you haven't gotten any more intelligent. A bunch of the majority of these cats that you get as followers are very uneducated. These cats are on the fringe of society. You got the damn Sons of Anarchy cat, Raka, who's still affiliated with you guys. That dude's insane, man. Talking about F the kids. And you said it too. Tahar is on video saying, man, cold leave your wife, man. Just cold leave her, man. You over here playing house. Just cold leave your wife and your kids, man. The Lord ain't dealing with that. You know, like, it's all crazy, man. What up, Ortus? Welcome. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about, though, when it comes to GMS and their teachings and what they have said in the past. I mean, from the 12-year-old girl stuff to, you know, you had a cat that was in there that was damn wearing his wife's panties. You know, that was a dude that's a bug out dude that's affiliated with GMS. And he will always be forever affiliated with GMS in people's minds. And so, you know, you have him on video and all of that. He's there's still videos of him up, you know, teaching in Times Square or whatever in Lower Manhattan or 34th Street over there. I know that area very well. My brother used to actually work at the Gap on 34th Street. And I was out there. I mean, these cats don't be on 34th Street no more. They used to be in Morningside Heights. Now I don't know where the hell they at. You know, I saw Vocab Malone run up on them and all of that with a bunch of his Christian affiliates and all of that good stuff, man. And I mean, you already know how I feel about just the scriptures in general. Like, you know, this stuff is just interpretations. People can come out with a scripture, read a scripture, and interpret it to mean things, you know, whatever they want it to mean. Because it could all be symbolism, or it's all just, look, it's like poetry, you know, and at any moment they could change words to mean other things. Just like they changed the word Egypt in Deuteronomy 28:68, Tahar, you change the word Egypt to mean bondage. When the word Egypt doesn't mean bondage. It doesn't mean that Mizraim doesn't mean bondage either. When you look up the actual Hebrew, when you're reading Deuteronomy 28:68, it's talking about the land of Egypt. That's why Exodus 20:2 refers to the land of Egypt. The land of Egypt is referred to as the house of bondage. Not the word Egypt means bondage. The way that y'all read the scriptures is crazy. Because when it says here a little and there a little, you think that you could just take a little bit here and just kind of mix it up and create your own fantasy. The scriptures is talking about you studying here and there, here a little and there a little. When you do something here and there, that means that you make it a habit. That's all it's talking about. You guys want to make it seem as if it's talking about take a little bit of a part of a verse here and mix it with this, and this is what it's talking about. Then you can do that with anything, and there's no format of which verse or which part of a verse you take to fit with whatever. You just do that at will, and you say it's a spirit. You got to have the spirit. What does that mean, man? Your spirit? You got to have the spirit of Tahar to understand this shit. This stuff is crazy, man. You got cats like they call them the Donkey Kong Israelite. I forgot what they called them. Gorilla something. Before Gorilla Hebrew. It was a crazy ass dude with GMS that was talking about putting plungers up these cats in Rebel Alliance Media's damn behinds and smashing them to smithereens. I haven't heard. I don't think I've heard that word since I've heard that cat say it, or when somebody's quoting him. Like that dude's hilarious. He was insane. He clearly had anger issues, man. This is the type of people that GMS attracts. Then you had another weird ass dude, man, that was like Mexican, or I don't know, he was Hispanic, and you could tell he had mental problems, man. He got put out of GMS, then he still used to come around and hang out and listen to them. And they were always looking at him like, yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, like they didn't F with him for whatever reason. He was kind of bugged out. That cat was bugged out. These are the people that are coming out of GMS, man, and that's joining GMS. Damn Central Park rapists and shit. You know, that's who y'all are, man. You cats are damn retro as hell. You got throwback garments on from 1990 fucking six, man. You still wearing them shits. That banner with the end of the world, that shit, I don't even know if they still have that. But they've been claiming that the end of the world is coming for so long, man. And that's what people have been doing for all these years. People have been using the scriptures, using religion, using fear, and the name of Jesus Christ and the apocalypse and book of Revelation, which they call the book of Revelations, all the time. They can never get it right and just say Revelation. Just say Revelation, man. Just say Matthew. It's not the book of Matthews. They always say that, bro. And they could be an ISUPK, they could be an IUIC, ICGJC, and they'll constantly repeat. And you can correct them, and they'll still 2 seconds later say Revelations and Matthews. Yo, these cats cannot get right, yo. They can't. They're constantly stuck in this damn tunnel vision. And I think it's this like refusal to admit like when you're wrong. You somehow trick yourself to continue on believing something even though it's clear that you were wrong. You're clearly wrong, Tahar, about the RFID chip being a part of Obamacare. It's not a part of Obamacare. It actually never was. It was suggested as a bill to be a part of the Obamacare thing. When Obamacare was finally passed, they didn't pass that part of it with the RFID chip. And even though it was in there, they did have something that would actually have your medical records and dealing with it's also dealing with like GPS. You know, like they use it on dogs and stuff. You know, they actually use that shit on collars. You know, they don't have to put it on the dog, but they actually do. And that'd be a way, you know, in case your dog runs away or whatever, you keep track of them. Boom, like that's the mark of the beast. You know, wow, that's so bad, yo. The mark of the beast is horrible. You're able to find your lost dog. Like these cats are insane, man. When they talk about this fear stuff, man, it's a RFID chip, and then they're not the only ones that are stoking up fear using RFID chips. They're just connecting that, and they're not the only ones that do this either. They're connecting that with the mark of the beast. There's other people that do that. I don't know if these cats got that from someone else, and they just thought that it sounded good, and they're just running with it. Because there's other people that teach that too. That the RFID chip is the mark of the beast. People have been teaching that. They're not the first ones to do that. And they're not the only ones that done that. But if they claim they're the first ones to do that, then, I mean, I guess I would have to show video evidence of somebody else saying it before they have. But I need to know when's the first time that they actually started saying that. Was it in 2009? I found more videos in like 2013. Right around the time when Obama was already like just coming out of office. No, my bad. It was before he came out of office. It was like 2013, 2014. And then they were talking about, what was it? Because Obama came out in 2016, right? Trump was elected 2016. So Obama gave it up to Trump. Obama was in there for 8 years. He started in 2008, 2016. So between that time, these cats were stoking up all types of fear about the RFID chip and how this is it. You know, like Tahar is scared to actually clearly come out and say that, oh, you know, they're gonna force it here and this time. I think he's smart enough, at least smart enough, to not give a date anymore because he was wrong with the year 2000. So I think Tahar knows not to do that anymore, but he was doing it before. He must have learned his lesson there, but he's still on the same bullshit. It's the same crap, man. Let me read some of these comments. It's all to divide and it's working, unfortunately. A Sharp says. A Sharp says, yeah, they're like the bottom of the different groups. They actually have more followers than ICGJC. ICGJC is so destroyed that GMS, you know, these cats have more members. GMS has members worldwide in you know, Trinidad, the Caribbean, the UK, and things like that. Then you got smaller groups. I don't know. See, it's hard to tell who has more members. Some groups have more loose rules and loose members. Like Sakari, I think. I don't know. GMS, they don't seem like the ICGJC and the IUIC so much. They'll have like orders that go, you know, throughout their group, and then people have to follow those orders for sure, just like Sakari. But there's a lot of affiliates that are just like on the internet following and just listening and commenting and maybe keeping in touch and trying to keep, you know, certain holy convocations, so-called holy convocations with, you know, their other members. ICGJC used to do the same thing when they had members that were far out, you know, they couldn't really get the grips, the vice grips on them and really make them a true cult follower, because they'll be out in, like, you know, I don't know, freaking Jasper, Texas or something. You know, and there's no church there. There's no members anywhere close. So they're like just by themselves, you know, trying to keep a holy convocation with nobody but themselves, which now they're not keeping the law. You know, and GMS doesn't keep the Feast of Tabernacles. GMS doesn't keep the law all the way. You know, as they claim. They wanna say that, oh, the law tells you could get a 12-year-old girl. All right, maybe the Bible does say that. Why does that mean that it's okay? that should tell you that it's wrong. That something is wrong with the Bible if the Bible tells you that. But you're so fucked in your brain that you're just like a dick rider, you know, for God. Yo, if God told you to lick the fungus in between his toes, you would do it, Tahar. You know, like that's how you are. You're an ass kisser, man. When it comes to this, you know, so-called the Most High, you know, but you try to be a rebel. You try to seem like you're some type of rebel. But when it comes down to it, you're just a follower. You've always been a follower. And now you got some leadership position as a damn follower. I mean, you've always been under these elders. And even when you saw Ariyah in the streets one time, you were so like, just like you said that you felt like you saw an angel of the Lord. That's what you said, man. And you ran back to your van out of breath, going crazy. You couldn't even get your phone held up right. You was dropping your phone. You're like, oh my God, I just saw Ariyah. That's how you treat Ariyah, who actually promoted Tazadakia as the God sent comforter. And you think that's all cool. I mean, I don't hear you speaking about what he has done so sharply, like you be talking about me or even Nathaniel and Johanna. I don't ever hear you talking about Ariyah that way. You're actually so very careful about what you say, like you're still a follower, man. If Ariyah was to join GMS, he would be over you. You would be his follower. You would. He had a dream. This is another thing I'm gonna do a video on. Tahar was trying to freaking put this out like as if Ariyah was gonna join GMS, man. He was saying he had a dream that Ariyah joined GMS and he just pulled up or something at the. There were a few people that started saying that they had dreams too after Tahar had said that. As if that shit was gonna happen, man. Then people started believing that Ariyah was gonna join GMS. There's all types of videos still online. Like these guys, there's a lot of videos that's been removed. Maybe they're not deleting it. You know, I don't think they're. I mean, I'm more. It's more likely that YouTube is removing it. I'll say that. I mean, that's probably what's mostly going on, because these cats are not scared to even show themselves contradicting themselves. They'll show you that they're contradicting themselves and explain it away where people will be like, okay, yeah, I'm still down with GMS, but you're showing yourself contradicting, you know, being a hypocrite. Talking about a dream that he had about Arya joining GMS. Then there was other members. I'm trying to remember if this was his dream or some other member. It was one dude that was driving. I remember seeing this video. He was like driving and he didn't show his face. I think it was, or was he walking? I don't know, but it was a GMS member that after Tahar said that he had a dream about Arya joining, and he had some vision or something. Then this cat was like, yeah, you know, I had a dream that we were up in camp, and then Arya just came up, walked up to the camp, and grabbed the mic and started prophesying, and they were all excited, like as if that shit was gonna happen. You guys are constantly being misled, and all your dreams and hopes is constantly crashing down on you, and you just keep going, and you don't even realize that you're failing. You won't acknowledge and take accountability for your wrongs. You excuse it some other way instead of saying, yo, yeah, I was wrong. I was teaching that Christ was going to come back in the year 2000. When are you going to admit that you were wrong publicly, Tahar? Why don't you admit, as much as you talk, I've never heard you say, I was wrong that Jesus Christ was going to come back in the year 2000, because you have so much pride, man. You're a cult leader. So if you start to say that you were wrong about something, your members are going to start looking at you like, damn, what else is he wrong about? So you refuse to acknowledge whenever you are wrong. You just excuse it as something else. And you try to say, well, I never said it was going to happen. I said maybe, or I was thinking. Like, that's what he be saying. That's why he tries to cover his ass by saying, this might not happen, because that's what he was saying about Arya. He's like, Arya might not come in, but he was still mentioning it and hyping it up. But he tries to cover his ass because he knows it might not happen. I don't know if he really thinks that this shit is real, because the dude is, I'm telling you, Tahar's one of the most craziest dudes, you know, and he's entertaining as hell. You know, he's like, just naturally funny to me. And then he comes off like he has this whole wealth of knowledge, and he does. Of course, he's what, 60 something years old now. And he does, because he's up in age, but it's all skewed with his mind frame and his worldview. It's all damaged. And then he has false information, like this whole RFID chip being a part of Obamacare. That was never even passed. That's not part of Obamacare. It's not, and it never has been. It was mentioned, it was proposed, and it got denied. And now that shit might be even repealed. Obamacare might not even be a thing. It might still be a thing, but we don't know what's going to happen in the future. What if Obamacare now gets repealed? You guys have been talking about Obamacare and the government using Obamacare to put the RFID chips in minorities. So they're going to find a way to constantly get around things when it doesn't work. When things don't work out their way, they have to excuse it some other way, because the wheels have to keep turning for them. You know, they're already in this shit. They already made their bed, and it's much harder for you to turn back and admit you were wrong and kind of like check yourself and go back and disentangle yourself and figure out, well, what else? What, you know, where did I go wrong? And here and there. You know, one of the first things I did when I knew Tazadakia was no goddamn comforter, one of the first things I realized after that is that Dominicans and Hispanics and Native Americans have no connection to any Israelite shit in any way. If you want to say that Christopher Columbus knew that, only thing you can use is that he had an interpreter that's also, he didn't just speak Hebrew, he knew other languages, but he just so happened to also know Hebrew, because he thought that he would find the Israelites or the lost tribes in Cipango and Cathay, which is in Asia. That's why, not because he was coming to America. See, you assume that the 10 tribes are in America. So with that assumption, you take the real fact that Christopher Columbus had a Hebrew interpreter, and then because of your confirmation bias, you just say, well, that means that he knew that America was Arsareth. You don't really have any evidence. You go based off your assumptions constantly. That's the type of shit that they do. They use their assumption, which is the Israelites are in America. Then they go back to history and start, oh, well, you see, this is why Christopher Columbus did that. And it's like, you can't even prove that the 10 tribes of Israel ever even made it to America. You can't prove that. There's so many other so-called evidence that Mormons like to use too, because you guys were highly influenced by the Mormon church, it seems. You guys latch on to the same false damn pseudo-archaeology. When you look up pseudo-archaeology, one of the things that it will tell you is that it's constantly being used by white nationalist groups. And what do you think Tahar's group is, GMS? It's a black nationalist group. They're black nationalists too. This is black nationalism. This is, very similar to it's like Black Panthers. It's like you could compare this whole Hebrew Israelite movement to the Black Panther movement in a way, or the Black Islam, the Nation of Islam movement, and all of that. You could compare it to it, even though of course there's many differences, but the way the movement, the things that they talk about, the victimhood and all of that, the constantly talking about oppression, constantly talking about the white man, how much it's the same shit, man. It's just this GMS thing has a different spin to it, just like these other Hebrew Israelite groups. They're mad about the white man. They're constantly upset. They were looking for redemption. And what's going to happen when Tahar dies? Tahar, I know you got all types of health issues, bro. What's going to happen when you die, man? And when you start dying out, there's going to be a new generation of GMS still talking shit, man. And still doing the same thing that Tahar did, seeing a problem in their doctrine, in their belief, and still keeping it going somehow, reinterpreting it. No, the Lord has a new thing he's going to do. That's what they constantly do, man. It's always like some new thing. The Lord is doing something new now. You see? But Tahar has been fucking preaching as if in his lifetime, Jesus Christ is going to come back, and all these things with the RFID chip, all this shit was going to happen during his lifetime. Jesus Christ coming back in the year 2000, everything, man. He talks about it as if it's going to happen during his lifetime. Soon. They talk about these things happening soon. They're going to, if they're talking about Obamacare being a way to mandate the insertion in humans, an RFID chip, a mandatory, yo, you guys are crazy, man. They make it seem, there's a lot of people like this that like the cop haters, like some of these cats that I'd be watching on YouTube sometimes, and they like the auditors, the First Amendment auditors, and the damn Moorish temple fucking crazy cats that call themselves sovereign citizens and all of that. They hate cops. They're constantly making it seem like they live in North Korea. Like, oh, we are being oppressed, man. And that's how Tahar's talking, like he's under this oppression, man. My man he can say whatever he wants about his channel being taken down, but Tahar, your channel's being taken down because you guys say crazy shit, man. And they do the same thing with all other types of people. There's another dude that I used to follow called Atheism is Unstoppable. His channel, he's a white guy. His channel got removed from YouTube too, man. So you can't just say, oh, it's because it's the truth, or I'm black, or whatever the hell you want to say. It's because you talk crazy, man. The shit that you say, you don't care. You don't care about what you say. Obviously, we know that you don't care what you say, what comes out of your mouth while you're being recorded. You just say what you want to say. And the people that are attracted to this are people that are, they have some issues, man. Like, I've talked to a lot of members that are current and former GMS members, and a lot of these cats got there's something wrong with them. They either like got some type of personality issues, or they're just not too smart. They're like, these people are not intelligent, man. They have very low education. Some of the most educated, some of the most uneducated Israelites that I've come across are GMS members, man. You can hear just in the way that they talk, yo. Like Rakad, man, from GMS. Yo, he speaks like he talks like an idiot. Like you can tell he was in special ed. I know he was in special ed. There's no doubt in my mind that he was in special ed classes. I bet you. I think I actually heard him say that. I forget Tahar's brother's name, but he's probably one of the ones that I can actually listen to and like, okay, this guy. I mean, he's saying crazy shit. Don't get me wrong, but he's not as vulgar, and he doesn't say like the type of stuff that like Tahar be saying. Like when they were talking about leaving your kids, even Gabar was like, yo, we're not telling you to just pick up and leave your family. And Tahar grabs the mic and he's like, kick the bitch to the curb. He's like, kick the bitch to the curb. Gabar was like, we're not saying kick the bitch to the curb. And he's like, yeah. Okay. And he passes the mic. And Tahar's like, kick the bitch to the curb. This shit's hilarious. I say ICPK has the dumbest members. No, yeah, you might be right, man. It's tough. It's tough, man. But I've been listening to some GMS today. And I'm like, man, there's like people in GMS Houston or GMS Dallas. There's a bunch of different GMS fucking channels, man. And it'd be cats with like 80 subscribers, 50 subscribers here, maybe 200, 800. And Tahar has the most with like, I don't know where he's at now. And I forgot the name of his channel because every time I turn around, he has a new channel with a different name. And yeah, I mean, what, maybe 13,000 subscribers? I would say that's probably a good round number, a good number for the members and GMS, loose members and all of that. I would say anywhere from, yeah, I think I'm stretching it with 13,000. You know, maybe like anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000. But you know, there's no way to actually do this because you got members that probably in and out that are mentally just not fully in there, but they kind of believe. You know, like how do you count that? You know, like they would love to count those members, but I don't know if I would count those members as actual members. You know, those followers, those internet followers. It's like, are these people paying tithes? Do you even collect tithes? I don't think they do. But they collect some payments. I know that. But you know, like these cats, they're not keeping the laws. They want to talk about they do this and that, and they're with the Lord. How come you guys aren't able to keep your Feast of Tabernacles, man? You're gonna say we're in slavery, bro. You guys can do that shit. Get in somebody's backyard, put up a bunch of sheets, you know, in the backyard. You guys are lazy. You don't want to do it. Yeah, I don't know if GMS collects tithes. I think they do. There's groups that like to rename it, rephrase the tithes as an alms or something like that, like IUIC likes to do. But yeah, man, I'm tired as hell. I don't know how much longer I can go, but yeah, Tahar, I want you to talk about the RFID chip not even being passed as the real, you know, with the real Obamacare thing. Like that was rejected, man. It was never passed. In 2009, it wasn't passed. Go back and watch it. You guys have videos where Gabar is putting up a date in 2013 saying that they're going to mandate this by 2013. So during Obama's presidency, you guys were pushing that this shit was going to happen. Like it was going to be something that, you know, because you had no idea that Obamacare was going to actually keep going on even past Barack Obama's presidency term. So when you're saying that, oh, Obamacare is going to push this, you guys are trying to say that this is going to happen during Obama's presidency, man. You guys were trying to give it a timeline, and it never happened. What, we still have to wait? Is Obamacare going to mandate? Are they going to start putting chips in people's arms and foreheads because of Obamacare? Now you got to jump to something else now. Now you're going to abandon Obamacare and talk about Elon Musk or something. That's what they're doing. Or what they're doing in Sweden, or is it Switzerland, with the RFID chip. Because they're making bigger moves First of all, Obamacare is an American thing. While he's talking about me and Obama and all of this, saying, "Oh well, that's gonna be the whole world." He said that in the video that he just put up like yesterday, or it said a day ago when I was watching it earlier. But I found a video where Tahar just recently started talking about my live, which I did, I think was on Thursday, or it could have been Wednesday. And this cat said that, oh, it's a whole worldwide thing. Okay, well, Obamacare is not a worldwide fucking thing. Obamacare it's just an American thing, and it's healthcare. You know, that's the marketplace healthcare. It's not private health insurance. Rich people have private health. They don't even qualify for that. So how are they gonna get the mark? Something else needs to happen now, right? These guys are crazy, man. That's how they slip out of being pinned down into an actual, debate and an argument where you hold their feet to the fire about the words that came out of their mouth, what they said was going to happen. They can always slip out of that because they create these other back doors and maybe this or this might not happen. And it's like, then why are y'all saying that it's going to happen and you putting fear in people and then you're going to turn around and say, no, it might not happen anytime soon. Well, when is it going to happen? Give us a date, man. Give us a time frame. It's just, oh, it is going to happen soon. Soon. Soon can be in 20 years to them. Well, one day to God is 1,000 years, so blah, blah, blah. That's what they'll do. These guys are the worst, man. Trying to actually have a debate. These guys don't debate. They won't come out and do a debate. Tahar won't come on my live. Tahar, why don't you come on my live? So we can actually have a conversation, man. And not go off into these million different things constantly. But I do want you to address some of these main points, these main things that you guys are completely, clearly wrong on. From the 2nd Ezra chapter 13, where it says through that country. How come it says through that country it took a year and a half? What country did they go through? You guys are crazy. There was already people in the Americas, before it was called the Americas, obviously. There were already people here in 720 BC. You never heard of the Kennewick man in Montana, or the Anzac One child Anzac One child was found Wyoming, and then you got the Sunrise child in Alaska. These are bodies of humans that were here before 7020 or 720 BC. The Clovis culture, the Clovis people were here before 720 BC. There's so much information. Tahar, you like to research? Research the Clovis people and the Clovis culture and the Clovis spear and all of that. And you can see how that's connected to Siberians, ancient Siberians. They weren't called Siberians, just so you know. But these are descendants of modern day ancestors of modern day Siberians. Guess what they did? They wore fringes. They smoked pipes. They had shamans. They wore feathers in their headpieces. Now you're gonna say those are Israelites too. That's what they're gonna say. But that goes back to hundreds, or not hundreds, tens of thousands of years. We're talking about tens of thousands of years when they were hunting woolly mammoths, man. These Clovis spears were found, and there were like bodies or bones of woolly mammoths found that were punctured by those spears, man. Woolly mammoths have been extinct. You're going to tell me that there were mammoths here in 720 BC in the Americas? Nah, man, this shit goes back like 10,000 years. You guys' timeline is completely wrong. And the Bible is fucking up your brain, or your interpretation of the Bible is messing up the whole timeline of reality, man. And you just deny anything that doesn't fit. You just conveniently keep that out, Tahar. That's what you're doing, man. You're lying to your followers, man. A horrible leader. You can't even be honest and tell people you were wrong, that Jesus Christ was going to come back in the year 2000. We clearly see that you were wrong, man. Why are you telling people America has 280 days? There's a video of you saying America has less than 280 days before the destruction comes. He's going to talk about everything else. Yo, he's smoking. He's bugged out. He followed Tazadakia. He's mad. All this crazy shit that has nothing to do with what we're talking about, man. I'm talking to you, Tahar. It has nothing to do with anything else. You guys been talking about me and addressing me. Why can't I respond to what you're saying without you? Oh, this guy is just mad. Like, what the hell? You're mad then. If that's the case, then I can say you guys are mad because I was talking about the Israelite thing with Vocab Malone. You guys are mad. That's what I'm talking about. Same logic, man. You guys don't even follow your own logic. You ain't even consistent with your own bullshit. But again, make sure you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and share it. If any of y'all GMS cats come on here, because I got GMS on the title, share this to Tahar. And then Tahar, I want to see the video. I'll be following your channel. I'll be following up. I'm an hour in now. DTX was good. Detroit was good. Detroit. TTBZ was good. DTX in the comments says there was an ex-GMS member, ex-Hebrew Israelite named Haitian Priest who called out GMS and Zabak back in 2014 to 2017 and exposed GMS heavy. That sounds familiar, Haitian Priest. TTBZ. I have a family member who follows this group. It's sad. Damn. I came across GMS Orlando. Well, I spoke to them one time. I've seen them in the streets a few times, but I stopped one time when I was with a few buddies of mine, and they didn't want to stop. But I stopped, and they just stood there as I was going back and forth talking about the tribe of Gad. How Osceola was supposedly, according to these cats, he would be an Edomite, and he was fighting off the Calgary or whatever you want to call it. It wasn't a Calgary, but it was what was his name? General Stonewall Jackson. That was sent out here. He was called the Indian killer. And you know, he was Andrew Jackson was, you know, these cats didn't want to conform to the ways of America, whatever the hell. And Osceola was pretty much the leader of the Seminoles. Seminoles was called the civilized tribes. It was a group of 5 different tribes, from the Creek Indians to the Chickasaw Indians, the Choctaw Indians. I don't think the Cherokee Indians was part of it, but it was a few other groups, and they came from Oklahoma. So according to their own breakdown, Gad was in Oklahoma. So how the hell are the Seminole Indians, which came from Oklahoma, mostly, how are they Reubenites? Most of them came from Oklahoma. And then you have the black Indians, the black Seminoles, who were slaves, runaways, that mingled with the Seminole Indians, and now they were looking a little darker now. The word Seminole means runaway, because that's what people would do. Even till this day, people come to Florida to run away. And that's what they were doing at that time. It was the 1800s. And Andrew Jackson was the president at the time. Or was it late 1700s? Might be late 1700s, early 1800s. I forget the time frame. But that's another issue with their breakdown of the 12 tribes, the 10 tribes, and all of that, is that you had cats that they call Seminole Indians or Reubenites. They should be Gadites according to them. And how far does Gad go? How far up does Gad go? Are the Eskimos? They're gonna say, yeah, some of them are. The Eskimos are Israelites now. The Inuits, they're Israelites. What about the natives that are in Greenland, that are connected to the same natives that crossed Beringia and made it across from Siberia or East Asia into Alaska, because they were able to travel at that time This was after the, we're living in a time when we're what, 100 something 100,000 maybe more years, I forget, removed from, no, I forget the time frame, but what they call the ice age, right? You have, if you have more solid, more frozen, um, icebergs and all of that, that water is not going to be there. That ocean that would cover what's now known as Beringia, what's, what they call Beringia, is underwater. There was a time when there wasn't underwater. They were able to travel on land. There's land under that water. There's land under all the oceans. There's land there. It just goes deep into, the bottom of the sea. They found bodies over there that are genetically connected to Native Americans here in America that have made it across from East Asia hundreds, tens of thousands of years ago, man. But these cats don't believe in real science. They'll believe in these crazy conspiracy theories with no proof. They'll believe in lies, things that aren't even real, that have been debunked. Like, there's other groups and there's other people. This is like became a social media thing where people were saying the RFID chip was going to be mandatory through Obamacare. And there's, you can research, Google, how that has been debunked. That shit was never put as part of Obamacare. It was suggested, and it never really became a thing. So why you fucking stoking up all this fear, Tahar and GMS, Gabar, all you cats? Why are you still talking about this till this day? The RFID chip is the mark of the beast. They love talking about that. There's so many videos from GMS talking about the mark of the beast. You can Google it. You can YouTube all this stuff. And that's what I'm gonna be doing. I got some videos already. I got some content. I'm gonna be doing an actual edited video, another one on GMS and their lies. And I'm gonna also try to keep in mind that I want to do a video about this dream that Tahar had about Arya joining GMS. DTX says, I don't get how those guys who joined GMS in 2007, 2011 are still there. Me either, man. Detroit T says, I'm so glad you're doing a video on these psychos. They did a video on me. They did? Damn, bro, you got to come on my channel. DTX says, also, Native Americans and Latinos of Native ancestry are more related to Asians. Yes. And blacks are related to West Africans, not Israelites, which were a Middle Eastern Caucasian people. Egyptians are considered Caucasians. People in that whole region are considered Caucasians. In the Middle East, they're considered Caucasians. Because that's where the Caucasus Mountains is at, man. It's in that whole region. So that's what actually Hebrew Israelites would be. They didn't look like Wesley Snipes, man. They like to go into these depictions, these like stone depictions and stuff, and try to come up with some genetic truth out of a stone depiction that they don't even know how accurate the person who did that, even was with that depiction. You're relying on the accuracy of some person in a stone depiction, man, as if they couldn't mess up and make something look more exaggerated than it really is. So you're relying on that, saying, no, look how they made it look. As if there's certain features that you can find in all groups of people, man. You can find certain features in Native Americans with the Olmec heads. They try to look at the Olmec heads and say, you see, this is a black person, like a sub-Saharan African. And you can actually put those stones, those depictions, right alongside Mexicans, and it looks just like them. I don't think GMS, I don't know, I think they might say that the Olmecs were like black. And like, this shit don't make sense anyways, because how the hell did the Native Americans end up looking the way that they did? They're going to say, well, Ephraim is a cake not turned. A cake not turned gets destroyed, man. It's useless if you don't turn it. A pancake. You want to focus on color all the time. Like, what are you talking about, man? It's going to be dark on one side and light on another side. That's not what it's saying, man. It's saying that they've mingled and they're destroyed because they've mingled with the heathen, because the heathens follow all types of other gods. And now they're starting to follow other gods and they're destroyed like when you don't turn a cake. That's all it's saying, man. You want to come out and say, no, it's talking about color. How can you prove that it's talking about color? When you read the scripture and you read that whole book of Hosea, there's other scriptures that tell you it's talking about being destroyed, that they're amongst the heathen and they're destroyed. They have a lack of knowledge, all that stuff. They're destroyed for lack of knowledge. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. What's that? Hosea, I forget what scripture that is. Hosea 10? I forget. But it's all talking about you being destroyed, the Israelites being destroyed for mingling, not having different color skin. Like, what are you talking about? Wouldn't they have always had different colors? They actually always had that. They were always different complexions. Those people in that area. And they had less people that were dark complexion. That's how it was, man. There's many depictions of Semitic people, and they don't look like how they made the Cushites or the Nubians look. Their hair doesn't look the same. Their lips and nose does not look the same. Go check out the depictions of Cushites. They have them right alongside Semitic people. Semitic people always had long hair, man, and a different look. They look like modern day. They look like modern day Middle Eastern people, man. That's how they look. So there's so many issues, man. I mean, with the identity stuff. I mean, they love that identity stuff, but the main thing is that doomsday stuff. They love to put fear in people and scare people into joining them. That's what a lot of these groups do. Join us, because if you don't, you're gonna regret it. Because the protection is here. God is protecting this group. It's a cult. They're saying that you got to be a part of their group to survive. You're a cult, man. And if you're not, you're going to be doomed. That's what cults do. They make you feel like if you don't join the group, you're done. There's Christian groups just like that. They're cults too. There's a very thin line between a cult and a religion. I constantly say that. Y'all talk exactly the same. A lot of Christians I come across don't be sounding like Hebrew Israelites. These so-called Hebrew Israelites out here. You got like the Westboro Baptist Church, that they sound like how Hebrew Israelites sound. And other groups, other cults that are out there that might not tag on to or latch on to an identity, but that doomsday stuff works, man. I mean, Heaven's Gate, Jim Jones. These are people that are all talking about an end time. And it's like a card salesman, man. Like, act now, because this deal won't last forever. Limited time only type stuff, and it makes you just not even, you're not even thinking right. You're just acting out of fear. That's all that's what a lot of these members do. That's how they get the membership that they have. And it's people that are not that well educated, maybe young. Like, I came in young and I was still learning. I mean, I'm still learning now. But I've done my research on this Hebrew Israelite stuff, and that's why I like to talk about it. I like to talk about all these groups. I like to even talk about these pro-black groups that are sound just like these Hebrew Israelites. You can't just be pro-black. You got to be anti-white all the time and shit. Like, at the same time, GMS has white members in Ohio and across the world. I think even in the UK, there's white people that have all types of white guilt that think that they're black or some shit, and they're joining up with GMS. Shit's crazy. Mega says it gets back to the scripture. No one knows the time, the hour, or the day. Yeah, when it comes to this doomsday stuff, like, how the hell does it tell you right in the scriptures that no man knows the time, but you guys are still talking like you know that this is gonna happen soon? Look at what's happening with Obamacare. Look what's happening with the RFID chip. Yo, Tahar, you got to come on my channel. I'll come on your channel. But I don't think he even does lives. I don't even think he knows how to have other people join his live. Like, he probably got to have somebody help him, man. Over the seed, though. Dog fart. What's good? DTX says, also, shouldn't the Mayans, Taino, Aztec, Arawak, and other natives in Latin America and Caribbean be Gad too? Yeah. They're all connected, man. The way that they separate who Issachar is crazy, man. It's all based on modern day fucking borders and you know country borders and stuff. You know, like as if Mayans and the descendants of Mayans can't be in Mexico and also in Guatemala because Mexico is right next to Guatemala, and those people share the same genetics. They're the same people, man. So how the hell's one Zebulun and the other one's Issachar? Based off of what? Because of the Panama Canal all the way in Panama? What does that have to do with Guatemala and Belize? These cats are crazy, man. DTX says, you can see some white people that look like lighter skinned Arabs. Yeah. Jews, Armenians, and Persians. Also, East Indians are Caucasians too. Yeah, and East Indians can be very dark. I like to talk about how dark skin is royal and all this stuff about dark skin, but then you got dark skinned Africans that they don't even want to claim, and dark skinned East Indians that they hate even more than well, they probably hate Africans more than that. But they don't, I mean, they don't hate anybody more than they hate the white man. That's the number one hated people according to these guys. And they all promote that victim mentality, man. Tahar, you want to be a victim, man, so bad, as if you guys can't do things on your own, and you are. You can be successful. Then you guys have your own business. Gabar, I remember one time they said they had their own construction company or something, and like you're able to do that, bro. You're able to go on your phone and invest in the stock market and shit, and make money, even if it's not a long-term thing, because you guys don't believe you're gonna be here for a long time. So you guys ain't probably buying any property. You guys ain't investing in no stock market, but you can still invest in the stock market, get in and out, and still make some money and get the hell out the country. You don't got to be here in America. You're not oppressed. You know, you're pushing this RFID thing. You're pushing this false narrative that you guys are going to be oppressed because you're not oppressed, but you need to create some type uh, of fear to monger up and say that yeah, we're gonna need salvation because they're gonna force us to get the RFID chip. So God needs to come and save us from that. And that shit's not even happening. But you gotta create something so you can say we need to be saved. Like what the hell is it that these guys are narcissists, man. They believe they should own some palaces somewhere in Israel, right? They want to run that country, but they can't do it until God comes. Then that's why they think they're a victim because oh, you see, we can't get our own land back. Like, well, you have no claim to that land at all. You're born in America. You are an American, man. You're here in this country. You got damn a New York accent and shit. Like you are an American, straight up and down. You don't even really speak Hebrew. You know, like you speak some fake ass version, some Harlem Hebrew, and then even that you don't speak it regularly. You're speaking English constantly. You are an American. It don't matter if you don't vote or none of that. You guys are working, paying taxes. You are an American citizen, man. That's what you're doing. You're participating and partaking in this country and the government and all of that. And you're a taxpayer, man. And you want to say you're oppressed and shit, like you're a slave. You're actually disrespecting real slaves and real people that had no choice but to work for free. You guys want to equate yourself to that, and you're not that. But you want to create this whole fake this victimhood shit. Yeah, that's one of the big things that gets these people in there too. Is you got to you're a victim and shit. Like, come on, man. Ariyah literally based his 12 tribe chart on racist stereotypes from the Jim Crow era too. Yeah, Ariyah's racist as hell. He's the damn. Also, even though Tahar and Ariyah Lamlab are mixed, they can pass for Caucasian. Yeah, definitely. I don't know what they're mixed with, but they definitely like Tahar looks very mixed, you know. And I guess you're talking about his brother. Is that his name? Ariyah Lamlab. I don't even know his brother's name. That's my first time ever hearing that. But I be seeing that cat all the time. He's always wearing that same green garment and shit. That cat's been wearing that same shit for decades, bro. It's crazy. And yeah, I mean, just like Gorilla Hebrew, he's supposedly he's a Levite. His mom is white. There's a lot of Haitians that have mixed with white people. There's white people living in Haiti, that speak Creole and all of that. There's a lot of light skinned Haitians that have mixed with white people and all of that. That have French ancestry and all of that. And it's always these light skinned cats that want to be the most outrageous and the most they want to show that they're down, like I'm light skinned, but I'm down. That's part of this whole shit too. Araya, you got like it'd be the most light skinned cats that wanna be like the most fucking vocal. It's like they're trying to compensate for their lack of dark skin by being, more vocal and more down with the cause and shit. Like Malcolm X was a light skinned ass fucking Muslim that talking about the white man, the devil, white man this. Nigga, if we shake your family tree, Malcolm X, a white people are gonna fall out of him. They're gonna fall out the tree, nigga. Ah, boom. Tahar, you too, man. Oh, but it's the father's seed. Tahar, if it's about the father's seed, how come Moab and Ammon, they came from the same father and they're two different nations? But you're saying if you come from the same father, you're the same people. Well, Moab and Ammon came from the same father. And we could say the same thing about Isaac and Ishmael. We could say the same thing about Jacob and Esau. We could say the same thing about all these people that came from Shem, from Elam to Asur, to all these people that had the same father and they ended up being different nations. How did that happen? Now your father's seed doctrine now it goes out the window. I want you to address all this shit, Tahar. I'm telling you, man, these cats don't want to go live. I be challenging Hebrew Israelites constantly, and then before we go live, they start to vet me, right, to try to see what I believe and where I stand. And then once they start to question me and see how I'm responding, then they be like, "Oh, nah, I don't even want to go live, man." And they create some excuse. Yo, you don't even believe. Do you believe in the Bible? I'd be like, what do you mean, do I believe in the Bible? Like, what part of the Bible? There's so many things in the Bible that are said to be true. There's so many claims. There's so many things that are unproven. How can I believe in something that I can't prove? That's the problem with a lot of these Hebrew Israelites, man. It's like there's things that I'll have a belief about that I can't prove, but I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you that it's the truth and that I know this or that I have faith and it's from God, and that's all bullshit, man. Instead of doing all of that, why don't you just say, well, this is what I believe is true, but I can't prove that it's true. You guys never talk like that because you're not humble. There's no humility in these guys. They have so much pride that they need to have 100% sure. Like you can't even be unsure about something without feeling, I don't know, incomplete, or without feeling, like you don't measure up to what you're supposed to be. Like, why can't you just say you don't know? Now, with this whole RFID shit, because they have already accepted the mark of the beast as the RFID, and they've been pushing that for years, for over a decade now, they got to keep it going, man. So the fact that that shit has been debunked and fact checked, and it's like that isn't part of. Look at Obamacare. Show me where in the actual Obamacare right now it's telling you anything about the RFID chip. What you're gonna do is find the bill that was proposed back in 2009, 2008, and you're gonna try to go off of that when that was never even passed, man. But they're gonna find a way around that somehow. And they're going to continue to believe that the mark of the beast is going to come through a mandated RFID chip through healthcare, man. Through the marketplace, bro. This shit's crazy. Through the health insurance marketplace, man. You're going to get the RFID chip mandate. And people are just going to accept this, right? This shit's crazy, man. Ain't no way people are going to accept that you mandate. Even Elon Musk is against anything like that, man. He's constantly talking about freedoms and all that stuff. Elon Musk is not gonna force people to get RFID chips. What are you, crazy? Nobody's gonna do that. What's gonna happen if anybody tries to do that, if the government tries to mandate chips going into people's body, people are gonna do an uprise. Not just GMS. GMS ain't gonna do shit. They're gonna be like, yeah, I knew it. You know what people are gonna do? They're gonna fucking burn this country down. What are you, crazy? And people are not going to accept that, bro. That's not happening. Everybody knows that shit, like, there's no way that could happen, man. That people are just going to accept that? Yeah, I think it's crazy. The few people that are accepting an RFID chip put in them, they're doing it willingly. They are accepting it. But they're not, it's not some nefarious thing where, oh, see, they're going to, it's just people that want to fucking have some type of information where it can't be lost, or it can't be what do you call it, stolen, and things like that. Like, I wouldn't do that. There's a lot of things that I wouldn't do. Like these cats was talking about the what do you call it, the CV, a vaccine, right? I think I've even heard them pushing how they were going to mandate that. I may be wrong on that, but I mean, there was a lot of people pushing that. There was a lot of people pushing fear that, oh, it was going to be mandated. I never took that. What are you talking about, man? Tahar never took that. A lot of these cats in the Israelite community never took that. There were people in GMS that didn't take that. And there's, I mean, in Sakari that died from the actual virus, and they never took it. They were like diabetic. That's what happened to Tazadakia. Now, a vaccine will give you a little trace of the virus so that now your immune system can recognize it. So now if you really get hit with it, your immune system already knows how to respond to it. That's all that is. There's a lot of people, even people in the ICGJC, well, they were saying other things, former ICGJC members that I saw that were against Tazadaki and all that, fear-mongering this whole vaccine thing. I saw people doing that too. And yeah, there were people that got jacked up from that, from certain what do you call it, manufacturers. Like, I forget the one, but it wasn't like a pandemic based off of that. If anything, it did more good than bad. But it's not for everybody. Whatever. This is not, I'm trying to push that or nothing, because like I said, I myself didn't even want to take that, just because what I know about my own body. Not everybody can deal with that the same way. So that's why people that are taking it, it's not like forced. It's like they'll be able to, you'll be able to sue, man. If like, that's not how it works, man. Like, these people think that they're living in a time where you have no power and it's just the government is just running you and you're being whipped. Like you're a slave, man. Like you have no power in your hands. And you actually do. You're showing it every day. That shit's crazy, like the way these guys think. And they lie to themselves. They lie to their members all day long. Lying to their family, their wives, their kids. I'm telling you, these people's kids don't even be believing in this shit. And then they come up with a scripture to try to justify it. And still think that they're all right. Meanwhile, they got no relationship with their kids. That's a lot of these GMS cats. Because they push to, forget your kids, man. Come out and do unit work, or come out. We're going to move out to, we're going to travel to wherever the hell they got to go to do the Lord's work. Man, screw your kids, man. F the kids. We don't got no time to be playing house, man. Playing house means being a father. Like the way that they try to play, and try to make something seem like it's funny, like you're a joke, or you're soft. You're soft because you want to be there and to raise your kids. You want to be around your kids and have a good relationship with them. Nah, man, we got to be with the Lord, man. Fuck the kids. Like, the Lord hates kids. The Lord hates your kids, right? And some of them might not be down with what you believe in, or your family members. They might not be down at the moment. And you're just like, oh, fuck these niggas. And you ruin relationships. Then you got, Let me read this comment here. B man, what's good? What up, bro? What up, Chris? Then you got uh DTX says, nah, Arya wait, what is it? Arai Lamlab is the old Puerto Rican elder. His father is black Puerto Rican, his mother's mixed. Ah, okay. Caucasian. We shouldn't be disrespecting our light-skinned black brothers. There's plenty of dark ass black supremacists, Khalid Muhammad, John Henry Clark, Kamau Kam. Oh yeah, for sure. Dr. Umar Johnson, Tariq Nasheem, whatever his name is. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just see with some of the most, um, I don't know. It's just something I realized with like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. It's like it's just some light skinned cast that just wanted. Well, Martin Luther King was more, of course, Baptist, Christian, whatever. But anyways, man, going back to this whole doomsday stuff, it's similar to like what um, Rap the News was talking about. Rap the News would give a prophecy or whatever and say he had a dream, and then he'll give a date, and then he'll say this might not happen on this date, but he's giving a date, yo. Like the dude was insane. His followers, I don't even know what happened to them. Like I don't follow up on this. People just forgot about this cat. I mean, that's what happens when you die. There's a few people that try to keep these dead leaders' names alive and stuff, but they didn't have that many followers to begin with. It's just like Tazadakia. Like nobody is even really talking about Tazadakia besides people that still have some type of connection to the ICGJC like I do with a lot of former members. Some of y'all just left. Some of y'all that are in this very comment section just left this damn cult. So I talk about it for y'all. I still have family in there. I still have friends, old friends or whatever, all the acquaintances. They won't consider me a friend, but that I would like to see leave that place. Um, but at the same time, it's not something like I'm really even focused so much on. Unless I'm responding to one of their videos, then I'm gonna get some information. I'm gonna get some content, watch their videos, and update myself on what's going on in the ICGJC or in any of these groups, because there's a lot of different groups or members that have done videos about me, like with GMS. That's one thing that they'll do. Like there'll be a dude like GMS Somalia or whatever, or a group. I don't know if that was a person or actual group called GMS Somalia, and then they'll put out an order because GMS Somalia was going off according to like Tahar and GMS. Then they'll put out an order for all their members that do YouTube videos to actually do a public service announcement how this cat's going off and he's not part of GMS. That's what they've done. So there's a lot of different GMS members that have done videos about me. I never really addressed any one of them. I've seen some of them. I maybe commented. GMS Defenders of the Truth, I think, has done a video about me. Then there's been other cats that I don't even remember. Like after Vocab's interview, I remember somebody did something, and Vocab sent me the link. I was like, yep, here it go. That was like one of the first videos I've seen outside of the ICGJC where there's somebody like actually addressing me. Actually, I think GMS addressed me before the ICGJC had even addressed me at all, because the ICGJC took a while before they addressed me. They didn't address me right away. Then they felt like, oh, but now we got to start addressing this guy. Yeah, because I exposed a bunch of their shit, even more than anybody in GMS has. I've exposed ICGJC. So according to GMS, I'm doing the Lord's work. But yeah, the foolishness of it all. If you don't devote the time to raise a family, what's the point? Their whole doctrine is crazy, man. I've always thought it's been so. I've always thought that their doctrine was so like barbaric, man. Just crazy. It's the way that they're like their logic is crazy. It's like they have no logic. The way they connect things, the correlations is insane. They have no like understanding of like rationale and just common sense logic. They just think that if something sounds like this or there's some type of little correlation, it doesn't even have to be true. Just because there was something proposed in Obamacare about this RFID chip that was not going to be mandatory, that was just going to deal with healthcare. And I forget what other aspects or what other technology that chip had, or that whatever they proposed. It didn't even get passed. So there's nothing to really even talk about. So all they could talk about is the fact that it was proposed, but they're making it seem like that's Obamacare, like it's a part of Obamacare, when it's not. There were other people spreading that throughout social media, and then to the point where if you go to Obamacare Marketplace.com, I think it's called. If you type Obamacare Marketplace, RFID chip, you're gonna come across where even on the marketplace, they devoted a whole section to debunking what they're talking about, to like pretty much explain how this is wrong, like that, and they explain exactly how. And you can go right now to that same website that where you go get Obamacare, and it'll tell you all everything that you get with Obamacare. It'll tell you every little nook and cranny. If you look through the actual healthcare policy, it has nothing. There's nothing in there with RFID chip. It was something that was proposed, and they never passed it. So that should have been the end of that, right? Nah, but GMS is still talking about that. What they're doing more now is talking about these other companies that are making the RFID chips that are supposed to be inserted. Not too long ago, Elon Musk, I think this is already in the works where yeah, I think it is, where they're talking about inserting something in your head that's very, what do they call it? Minimally intrusive. It's like a surgery, but it's, how they have like minimal intrusive surgeries or whatever, which they don't even really go that deep, but it's put into your body for different reasons. I don't even know what Elon Musk was proposing. I forgot. I remember, learning about that or reading about it one time, and I was like, this shit sounds crazy. But that dude, that's what Elon Musk does. He pushes the envelope, and he doesn't care about what people are gonna say about some mark of the beast. It's like buying and selling. Like, what does that have to do with healthcare, man? When you're talking about free healthcare. This is the government healthcare that's given to people that qualify for it because they don't make enough money. In New York City, they have this thing called, they have their own thing. You can get Obamacare in the whole country, but in different cities like New York City, Los Angeles, Chicago, they have their own little public health care through the county or through the city, where you could get $3 copays, for your kids and stuff like that. Like New York City has Health First. For those people that live in New York City that don't make that much money, you can still go see doctors and surgeons at Sloan Kettering and all these like crazy dope ass, New York Presbyterian, some of the greatest hospitals. You can actually find that within your network with the insurance that you get for free. Some of these people have no copays, and they go see some of the best doctors in the country, man. Talking about, and I'm oppressed, man. Like, nigga, go get some fucking healthcare, man. Tahar's probably getting some of that free healthcare. He's over here complaining and shit and all this. Nigga, go set up your own nation, man. This fake ass nation, GMS, Great Millstone. You're a little cult group that, I mean, compared to what you're supposed to be, according to the Bible, you should be a whole nation, man. You should be so much more powerful. You should be creating your own electric vehicles. You should have your own fucking stock. You should have your own publicly traded company or something, so where you can make money and people can invest in your company and shit or your business. But now you want to be this whole fucking fake, goddamn. Um, uh, I mean, like a world domination, pretty much. You want to rule the whole world, and you're waiting on Jesus Christ is what you're doing. You just keep waiting on Christ. In the meantime, you're just talking all this shit. You're spewing so many lies and false hope, where people don't even realize that they're being lied to. They don't even realize that these prophecies are not coming to pass. They can always say, well, it hasn't happened yet. That's the thing about a prophecy. When you don't give a date, you can always just say, well, we're still waiting on it. It hasn't been, it's not a false prophecy because, you don't know when it's going to happen. But you can just say that. You can just say anything is going to happen and just keep people on hold and just keep people waiting and in limbo. And what we supposed to believe that it's going to happen based on what, man? People believe that Tahar is a prophet and shit. What has Tahar prophesied and with accuracy that has come to pass? Like he's always saying, man, the Lord's gonna kill you. So, he's saying, I mean, people die, man. And it's like, how do you know the Lord killed somebody? Well, anytime somebody dies, it's the Lord that kills them. Even if you get murdered, the Lord killed you? That's crazy, man. Well, isn't the Lord against murder? But he still sanctions it because, the issues of death belong to the Most High. But if he's against murder, why would he sanction the murder? He's against it. He's going to punish the murderer. But you saying he sanctioned it? How did he sanction it? Well, he allowed it to happen. Did you expect God to stop it somehow? When does God ever stop a murder? God damn, these cats are crazy. They're going to come up with crazy stories where a baby, was thrown off a damn building and landed somewhere and survived. Oh, that was the Lord. What? That was firefighters that helped that baby survive. Or the Lord, I went through surgery and the Lord made the surgery go okay. It was the Lord. No, motherfucker, it was the surgeon. Because you could have got a dumbass surgeon that would have fucked up your whole shit. Then you would have said, oh, it was the surgeon's fault. But because it was successful surgery, it was the Lord, yeah. There's a lot of dumb motherfuckers like that. That's not just Hebrew Israelites. Be Christians talking like that too. Like, the Lord did it. And the surgeon is there fucking cleaning his hands and shit. He just did a hard-ass work. And getting no credit is all the Lord, right? These cats are crazy. Just the way they think is they're not living in reality. So Tahar can say, the Lord's going to kill your ass, man. The Lord's going to get you, Tazadaki. And then Tazadaki dies. And he could say, well, I was saying that. I told you the Lord was going to get him. A lot of people been saying that. There's people that say, oh, you're evil. They were saying that probably about, what's his name? Arya. There's people saying that about Arya. Arya's going to die. If he's not dead already, who knows? It's a guerrilla Hebrew cursing out Arya. He said, F Arya. So what they're going to say? Well, they can say, well, I told you he was evil. Look how the Lord took him out. What up, the Free Thinkers podcast, man? What's good, bro? I meant to actually hit you up today through that Facebook group because I know that's you on there. And I be forgetting sometimes that's you. And I connected it a few weeks ago when we were talking and I invited you on because I thought you was a Hebrew Israelite real quick. But I think you're a former Hebrew Israelite, right? I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Neuralink. Yeah, that's right. That's it. Thank you, Soldier 144. The Great Mudslide. What up, Brooklyn Outlaw? God, Yahweh was a murderer. I'm always talking about King David's baby. Yashar, that's another question I have for you, man. You did an hour video. I say Yashar, Tahar. You did like an hour video. I watched like the first 20 minutes, 30 minutes maybe. And then I wanted to go live and talk about it because I started looking up what he was asking. He was asking for evidence of what I was talking about with Obama and the RFID chip and everything. And there's videos that get taken down. There's channels, whole channels that get taken down, but then their members post stuff, or there's other people that talk about how crazy GMS is and they'll post their content too. And I think that's where I saw Tahar in the street talking about how they got Obama, they put Obama up as a black man so he can sway black people to get the chip, making it seem as if that was going to happen during Obama's presidency, where they were going to mandate the chip. That never happened. But, you know, I might not be able to find that video. Either way, they're lying about the RFID chip being a part of Obamacare. So that's the main thing right there. What are we talking about? We're talking about the mark of the beast, the RFID chip, and they're talking about that, how that's part of Obamacare. And it's not, man. It's not. Tahar, would you ever admit when you're wrong? You have a fucking problem, man. You have a confirmation bias, and you have narcissistic personality traits, man. You refuse to acknowledge when you're wrong. You think that God is dealing with you. Who the fuck you think you are, man? Chill, bro. You need to chill the hell out, man. Tell the people the truth, bro. You used to think Jesus Christ was going to come back in the year 2000. You were out there cursing people out, telling people that they better repent immediately because Christ is coming back in the year 2000. Putting all types of fear because you were scared. You had fear. You're trying to put that same fear on everybody else so they can, whatever, join you up with you. And then it never happened. You were down with the House of David, or whatever the hell. I don't even know where you were at in 1999. Could have been the House of David. You were there with Nathaniel. That shit fell apart. Then you started the shit that you're in now, GMS, and you're still preaching this doomsday stuff. You're still trying to scare your members to think that the earth is going to come to an end. America is going to be destroyed. America is Babylon the Great, and it's going to be destroyed, and the nation of Israel is going to be set up, and the white man is going to go into slavery. This stuff is not bugged out? No, because it's all biblical. You see, it's all biblical. You don't believe in the Bible. You lost your spirit. Yo, I've opened my eyes up, man, to the truth. You refuse to acknowledge that you have been lied to, and we can clearly see, we can clearly find videos of you talking about Jesus Christ coming back in the year 2000. You were lied to. You were lied to. You believed in a lie. You're trying to keep the shit going and spin it in another direction. And now you've come into this RFID chip. Because Jesus Christ coming back, you don't want to do that again. Now you're fear-mongering this whole mark of the beast thing, which it's supposed to lead to Jesus Christ coming back. So it's all very similar. But now he's trying to get more accurate and show, oh, well, look, this is what's supposed to happen before Christ comes back. And it's happening now. So you better get ready. It's the same thing, Tahar. We see what you're doing. Piece of cake. What's good, brother? Que lo que, loco. The whole Israelite movement pretty much fell apart. House of Pain jump around. Jumping around from group to group. Tahar. I joined the Israelite group. I realized it was bullshit, and I got the hell out. I vacated, and I'm exposing all the bullshit that you guys do. What's wrong with that, man? You're mad that I'm doing that. That's what it is. He's mad that I'm exposing this shit. I want you to address this, everything that I mentioned. The main things, there's a lot more, and we could talk about that another time. I'm going to do another video, an edited video, about GMS. This will be like my 4th GMS video, maybe. It's going to be about the RFID chip, the mark of the beast. I got all types of content where these guys were talking about 2013. They used a social media post that was going around. They put it up in their video. I forget the channel that I got it from, but I got it, so y'all can't take it down, even if you wanted to, which y'all probably don't even care because you have no respect and yeah, you have no respect for your members, you know, to tell them what's true. You expect them, you know, because you know that you got them wrapped around your fingers. They already believe in crazy shit. So, of course, they're just going to go with whatever you say, you know. you actually put that. Y'all actually put up something that was going around social media and Facebook and all of that about 2013. They're gonna mandate the RFID chip. Y'all put that up. Elder Gabar, so-called Elder Gabar, was talking, and somebody put that I don't know if it was one of your people that edited that shit together. I don't know if he just reposted the video, the channel that I got it from, but y'all were talking about the same shit you're reading from fake ass conspiracy theorist accounts and social media posts where it's talking about them mandating the RFID chip, man. This is what these people are doing. Do y'all realize that they did this? That they were scaring people? At this time, I was still out of the ICGJC and kind of like a believer, but I was, seeing the bullshit little by little. Slowly, I was seeing the bullshit. Then things picked up fast, and I quickly started doing research and got more focused on, you know, um, pretty much challenging my own beliefs. Tahar, you never challenge your own beliefs. That's what's wrong with you. You're always trying to talk about other people and what they believe, and you talk about Nathaniel like crazy, man. You get off that guy's ball sack, man. You're mad that you don't have the following that he has. That's what it is. You're mad that his group surpassed your group. Because you love talking about that cat. And there's all types of things we can say about Nathaniel and IUIC, of course. And ISUPK and Sakari. Sakari and GMS don't really get along, as far as the leaders. Because these cats have been calling out Tahar too. Sakari was calling out Tahar for being a dick rider for Arya. And amongst other things too. But these cats have similar doctrines when they talk about Paul. Paul lied. They be saying, Paul lied. You're not supposed to believe in Paul. They tell you every word of God is pure and the Bible is the word of God. But then they'll tell you, Paul messed up here. What the hell y'all talking about, man? Yeah, we need the likes up. I bet Tahar's listening to laughing his ass off. Tahar, man. Tahar. Man, that cat, he loves talking about the shit that I be saying, man. I didn't realize he'd be following my channel like that. But it's crazy because I just did that live a few days ago. It's called the ICGJC shit. I just did that. That cat just did a video. He quickly did a video about a 10-minute portion or something like that, maybe less, where I was talking about Tazaryak. I started talking about Guerrilla Hebrew and the Hebrew Israelite community and the faces that are known. And then I got into GMS and I mentioned the whole RFID false prophecy. I mentioned Tahar, talking about the year 2000. And I forget what else I talked about because I actually, once I started listening to Tahar saying, for me to find the evidence of him saying what I claimed that he said, I started looking for it. And what I found was them talking about Obamacare. And they did post that 2013 date. That was a date that was pushed, and that was pushed on social media. And it was a scare that was going on where 2013, it was supposed to be a mandate. And I don't know if these guys just posted that, as this could happen, but they didn't make it clear. They just posted it up in their edited video as if that fucking meme it's a social media meme. It's what it is. It's like a Facebook meme that has false information, man. It's just fear shit. And it's probably some Christian group, There's a lot of these crazy Christian groups like that too. They like to scare people into Jesus, Jesus Christ is coming back. They be waiting on Jesus Christ to come back too. The Hebrew Israelites, they just put a different spin on it. And they'll add this whole like government, takedown, this whole government, whatever. And then they're gonna take the kingdom. as the scripture says. They're going to take the kingdom. So, Christians don't really be talking like that. They're just trying to put fear in you that, there's going to be a scare. There's going to be some type of power grab or something. And then Jesus Christ is going to be forced to come back. Christian groups that be bombing abortion clinics and stuff. Cats like that. Or they should be trying to bring the second coming quicker. I think there was something about poisoning a water supply, some Christian group. I don't know. I heard something like that before. But yeah, just to stick to Tahar and this whole GMS thing. It's almost midnight, man. I gotta be up early. I got next few days. I got finally a day off on the 25th, Wednesday. Well earned. I've been wanting to go live, man, but I don't really have that much time anymore, man. I'm working 2 jobs right now. I'm in slavery, brother. Why didn't slavery bring Jesus back? Yeah, that should have exactly. That what a great point, man. That would have been the end all. Like that would have been the moment where Jesus Christ said, "Okay, now I got to step in. Look at what my people are going through." But no, things have actually gotten better in this country. Are you going to say that things have gotten worse for black people? I want to hear Tahar say that things have actually gotten worse for black people now than it was in slavery. Because you're not a slave, Tahar. Wake the hell up, man. You know that you're not a slave. Who owns you? Who's your slave master? Oh, America's my slave master. So go get a passport if you don't have one already and get out the country. Now, guess what? America's not your slave master. Oh, but then I'm going to be a slave to the whatever. Then America's not your slave if you can go somewhere else. Like, man, like, what do you expect? Is that these cats expect a damn golden palace somewhere, and if they don't get that, they're oppressed. See, they ain't giving me my golden palace, man. I'm a victim. Bro, blame your parents for not giving you whatever the hell you think you deserve. And now your parents didn't give it to you, so you want Jesus Christ to give it to you or something. Make a living for yourself. I mean, you guys, you're a cult leader, bro. Go, you got all this money that could easily come to you, But, that's what I'm trying to do is expose cats like you, because, people are going to give their money willingly anyways, but there's just not enough information coming from the other side. Like, I really want Tahar to talk about this 10 tribes breakdown. I've never heard Tahar talk about 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 40 through 47, and all the other scriptures that link up with that they link up with that to talk about the 12 tribes breakdown, because that's part of the 12 tribes breakdown. You have to talk about Arsareth in America, because 10 of the 12 tribes, or 9 of the 10 tribes, 9 of the 12 tribes are Native American, Hispanic, indigenous pretty much. But some of these cats, it's not even just indigenous. Some of these cats be saying some of the Europeans that came from these other countries were Israelites too. Even though they're very white. I think I've heard these cats say Christopher Columbus was an Israelite. I don't think that's what GMS says, but I've heard some Israelites say that Christopher Columbus was an Israelite because Christopher Columbus was Jewish or a Jew. He had Jewish ancestry, man. But I want to hear Tahar. I want Tahar to respond to what through that country. What country did the Israelites go through for a year and a half to get to America? They had to be on ships. And they had to go through that whole country for a year and a half in order to get to America. That's what the scriptures says. The way that you interpret it logically follows that you're saying that the Israelites, the 10 tribes, went through a country on ships for a year and a half and made it to America. That's what you're saying. The scriptures is talking about going through the land or that country, which is called Arsareth. That's actually what it's talking about. And it's just saying that that whole region, they didn't have a name for it. It wasn't called Arsareth. There's no place called Arsareth. There never was a place that somebody called this place. This place is called Arsareth. No, it was just, there had no name for it. And the so-called angel that was talking to Ezra was just talking about where they ended up and what they did in this whole so-called journey, you know, which was on land. When it says that the Lord held still the waters until they were passed over, they passed over a river. Just like when you read in Joshua 4, verse 22 and 23, I think more specifically, verse 23, they talk about crossing the Jordan River. They pass over the Jordan River. Remember, the Lord dried up the river? He dried up the Red Sea, and then during the time of Joshua, he did it again. And then the book of Second Ezra says that that's going to happen again, or that actually happened again. That's what it's talking about. They passed over a river. What did they pass over? Tell me what they passed over. Tahar can't tell you what they actually passed over. What, the Atlantic Ocean? What did they pass over? Until they got over to that region. So the body of water, what was the body of water? You're saying that they went on ships, 10 tribes, which I'm assuming are tens of thousands of people, somehow got a hold of ships when they're in captivity with the Assyrians. Not only did they get out of captivity, they took ships and loaded them up with enough resources in order to live for a year and a half on salt water with elders, with elderly people, with children, all types of sick people. And they made it across in a year and a half, got to America, who knows on what coast they landed on. And then in 720 BC, they all split up, and, you know, Gad went up to North America, and, you know, so did Reuben, because the Seminole Indians are North American Indians. So when you say that the Gadites are North American Indians, and then you say the Reubenites are Seminole Indians are North American Indians. And then Simeon, Ephraim, and Manasseh went out to the Caribbean, and they all settled perfectly with no mixture of tribes. They just all, you know, all the Simeonites went to Dominican Republic or the island of Hispaniola. Even though all of that actually took thousands of years, they're telling you that it was just 2,000 years. Not even. Not even. Less than that. From 720 BC to 14, or let's say 1492 when Columbus got here, they were already in their respective lands. So you're talking about them populating the Americas in that time, going from South America. That took a long time. And the evidence, the historic evidence that's available, the archaeology that's available, the anthropology that has been done, all of that shows you that they've been there for some of them even say 20,000 years. 10,000 years, 12,000 years, 15,000 years is what you hear, like that's actually like concrete verified. Then they push it to 20,000 years based off something that they found in Peru or something, I forget, or in Chile. Because they found, I forgot what the evidence is there, but it's not like bones or anything like that. But the bones that were found was the Kennewick man, the Kennewick man, in Montana, the Anzac One child. Look all this up. The Anzac One child in Wyoming. There's more, but the Sunrise child in Alaska. Those three are some of the main ones I've looked into and studied. And they actually done genetic research on it, and they'll tell you that these are Native American genetics that date back to a time when They were hunter-gatherers. They were hunting with spears called the Clovis spear, which is a fluted spear that they would form it a certain way where they called it, it's fluted pretty much. So it's kind of like, it's actually aerodynamically a little, kind of advanced, technologically advanced for their time. This is what they used to kill their food. They also tell you that the animals that can be found in Siberia, some of them can be also be found in Alaska, like the woolly mammoth. They found bones all throughout, those those two areas. The gray wolf, and not only animals, plant life has also been found that's connected because they call it fauna and what do they call it? Fauna. I forget what they call the plant life. Fauna. Fauna is an animal life. Flora is the plant life. Flora and fauna have been found. It's all connected from Alaska, which is North America. It connects. It's all you like to talk about um, correlations and corroborating evidence. Where here's some right here. You have Siberian ancestry. You have animal. You have plant life, animal life. That's all connected to what's happening in North America. How did they get across? They had to get across. Y'all don't believe the Earth is flat and shit like that. So y'all ain't like Sakari or whatever. I think y'all actually believe the Earth is round. So there is a way to get from Asia to America. Without falling off the damn edge. That some of these cats be talking about. I don't even know. Like there's no model for their flat Earth, anyways. But there's connections in their language. That's another thing. There's connections with their language, with their spiritual practices, with their dress code, because they love to talk about the feathered war bonnet. It's a war bonnet, but they call it a crown of feathers. Well, it's a war bonnet, is what they call it. Is what the Native Americans call it. The Israelites, these fake Hebrew Israelites, they like to use Genesis chapter 49 and verse 18 or something, and 19, where it talks about Gad. That might not be the verse, but the scriptures that talk about Gad, that says, Gad, what does it say? He teareth his arm with the crown of the head. Their answer, their interpretation of that is he teareth the arm with the crown of the head, is that they take a feather from their war bonnet and cut their arms, and they, two brothers, they do a blood brother pact, and this was some type of ritual that the Native Americans supposedly did, that's recorded in the Bible, they think. Now, this is not even any type of practice that Native Americans have done. Tahar, if you can find any evidence, because I think you got this shit from a movie or something. There's no evidence of Native Americans actually doing anything like that. So why do you guys use that? Like that's the breakdown for Gad. They take a feather from their cap, cut their arms, and two brothers, two damn Native Americans, rub their blood together that they just fucking cut their arm from. Like, what, man? That shit, that's not a thing, yo. Like, that's never, I've researched that shit. And the only thing I came across, I think, was like a fucking Western movie that did something like that. That showed that they had no knowledge of any Native American thing. It was a stupid ass Hollywood movie that they maybe threw that in there. I don't know. These cats will find any little thing to connect it with a scripture that really means nothing, and there's no evidence of. Like, that's not a thing that they did at all. Them cats were smoking peace pipes and shit. Oh yeah, because they learned that from the heathen. But then at the same time, they say that they were worshiping the Lord, and that they were saying the damn hero Israel and all of that. Lost tribes and promised lands. This is what they believe in. Claims of some white people that made, that was trying to make it seem that they found the lost tribes, because that's actually a very lucrative thing at the time to say. You can get money and funding by saying, oh, I'm gonna work with the Native Americans. I need to study them, and we're gonna bring them back to Jesus. We're gonna bring them to Jesus. They don't know Jesus, and we're gonna bring them to the fold and save them. And God is gonna thank us for that. And then that they might think that that's gonna hurry up the second coming of Christ too. So they're gonna try to get these Native Americans. They were. How do you know that they weren't just confused or just straight lying to get a payday? Because some people could just be confused. It's not always something that's evil intent behind it, something nefarious. Oh, I'm just gonna trick people. But shit, money is a big motivator, of course. The angel Kal-El gave the prophecy. Jacob Williams. I just walked in on my GF pooping for the first time. I think I'm gonna break up with her now. Her husband comes home from the military next week. Anyway, what? Weirdos. I bet you it's a GMS cat. Who knows? But yeah, this is gonna be it right here. I've been going for 130 minutes. That's 2 hours and 10. Yeah, cause it's midnight. And I gotta go. Call it a night. Yeah, y'all probably know I'm tired. Y'all can probably see that I'm tired. My eyelids are heavy. It's late. And I think I'm gonna go to sleep watching some The Office or Seinfeld maybe. Vocab Malone was good. Vocab in the house. You caught me late, brother. You gotta watch the video that Tahar did about me. So I ended up doing this live talking about Tahar. And his maybe you might know about this, man. I gotta get up with you about the RFID and the mark, being the mark of the beast thing, and how they were trying to push that during Obama's presidency. And they were trying to say that that was a part of Obamacare, how they were gonna mandate the RFID. Yeah, it's up right now. I don't know the name of his channel, but I could send you the link because I'm about to get off. I'm gonna call it a night, but I'll be back soon, everybody. Maybe next week, maybe this week, whenever I feel like I got time and I'm not too tired. But yeah, I'm getting tired, and I'm gonna call it a night. Y'all could watch that video though. I'll send some of y'all the link. I think I sent somebody the link already. Tahar's talking about me. I did a live on Wednesday or Thursday, and I talked about the ICGJC, and just so happened to mention Tahar. And then Dan Pete. And then this cat did a video about me talking about Tahar. Tahar did a video about me talking about him and the RFID chip and that whole fear mongering, that tactic of trying to get people to think that Babylon the Great is about to be finished because the white man is going to push and mandate the mark of the beast. So that's going to force the second coming of Jesus Christ. Yeah, this is all doomsday type stuff. The end of the world, like that. That's what Tahar's been doing since he was down with ISUPK, then to the House of David, to where he's at now. He still hasn't learned his lesson, and he's still trying to fearmonger and push people to join his cult by, making them think that they have to act quickly lest they perish and all that good stuff. So, I mean, they were definitely pushing. They still push that mark of the beast thing, but there was a time where they were trying to make it seem like, this is happening. If this is for real. Meanwhile, that RFID thing was never even passed with Obamacare. I mean, we're talking about healthcare here. How the hell does this have to do with buying and selling and the rich and the poor? This is public healthcare. This is a marketplace. How are the rich? The rich have nothing to do with Obamacare. Like, they have their own private insurance or whatever, insurance through their company. They don't even qualify for Obamacare. So now they have to talk about some whole other thing with Neuralink, right? And Elon Musk with the chip in the head. You know, like they're starting to push that now. But they were talking about this Obamacare thing and the RFID chip being the mark of the beast and how it's going to be mandated. So Tahar was trying to deny it. But, you know, we're going to talk about that again. I'm going to do a video. I'm going to edit it real good and show all the evidence of what they're talking about, because they'll make it seem like, no, we weren't talking about it. But this is what they do. They like to say something and then back out. They'll say something and say, well, I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but this is, you know, you got to watch Esau. The vocab says they got that RFID claim from silly Christians like Irvin Baxter, I think. There you go. I was just saying how there were other people that were talking like that before what's his name? Tahar even mentioned it. So, you know, they like to make it seem like God is dealing with them and they know the truth, and you know, they're gonna give you some secret knowledge that nobody else knows. But that's been debunked. There were Christian groups talking about that. There were social media posts going around claiming that in 2013 they were going to mandate this, and it's even debunked in the Obamacare website and the marketplace website. There's actually a section devoted to that where it's saying, "Don't believe this lie," and they fact check it. That bill was never passed. That part of the Obamacare was never passed, which had mentioned the RFID, but it never said that it was going to be mandatory or whatever. They never said that. So Tahar, you got some explaining to do. What up, St. Ivan the Terrible? We got a few people here, but they always get everything first. Yeah, they want to be the first to get something, but they don't care about the accuracy of anything. They just want to be the first to say something. Like a damn tabloid. That's what they are, man. A bunch of conspiracy theorists. Freaking listening to tabloids and that type of stuff, man. But I'm going to get up out of here. I see 24 people are on. Yeah, I came too late. It's midnight. And I got to go. But thanks for joining. Thanks for coming through. San Miguel TV. Tahar, I'm going to look out for your video. And have a good night. I'll holler at ya. I'll check y'all soon. Peace out, man. Oh, wait. One more comment. Vocab says, yes, back in the day, Hall Lindsey used to say it was the barcode, but there is no way the original audience of Revelation could have understood John was talking about RFID chips. So it's unlikely he was. Yeah, we're gonna get into that. I'm gonna look up all that stuff and try to get it all in the video so I can include it and show how you know, this cat, he's not the first one to talk about this anyway. The Tribe of Judah logo. All right, man. I appreciate y'all coming through. Vocab, I'll hit you up soon, man. It's been a minute. Appreciate you coming through. And yeah, I'll talk to y'all soon. Anybody, you know, if you got my email, hit me up. If you got my number, hit me up. And I'll send y'all that link. But yeah, you can find it. Tahar talking about San Miguel TV, the latest video. And get ready to laugh though. All right, have a good night, y'all.